So what is real truth and what is self-truth? There is a great movement in the world towards self-truth, finding the truth yourself. And this self-truth is defended with great passion. And from that is developed a thing called compassion that comes with the premise that you must allow others their self-truth so that you can have your self-truth. But what is self-truth in fact? If we look at the definition, that means the way it's lived out. Self-truth is where you develop knowledge which you then use to defend your particular point of view, and it always will exclude most and include your definition of truth. This is self-truth, but it is not real truth, because real truth exists in spite of yourself and actually would include you in every way, because real truth is where no separation exists and where what exists is what is best for all. In this, the indicator that is the moment of change is always pain, disease, discomfort, energy, anything that moves and indicate a barrier is always the indicator of the point of change, and is the indicator of the boundaries of ego. Because self-truth, by its very nature of being separation, and by its very nature that it is based not on the real truth that exists here, but on the knowledge that you have claiming as truth, is always ego. All self-truth is always ego. Real truth is where the ego cannot exist, because it functions within the mathematical specificity, within that which is here. That means all the parts that is here in a way that is best for all parts, and that support all parts regardless of their point of view. On Earth, for instance, food is an indicator that assists with showing what is real truth and what is ego truth or self-truth, because it will give the opportunity for everyone to be equally supported, because no one can exist without food, yet self-truth will cause food to not be available to all equally, while universal truth will obviously understand that it must be available to all, or you will kill those that you're not willing to support, which is what is happening in this world. So any definition, spiritual, economic, religious, educational, that are based on the acquiring of knowledge, which is then used to defend your point of view, is always ego and is always despicable, no matter how beautiful it looks like or sound. Any answer in this world that do not bring about a consistent universal support to each being that is here, that will support each being to maximize their opportunity of life, anything that do not follow that is always an ego-based system, and always will use knowledge and will defend the knowledge in spite of the evidence that indicate that the knowledge is not sufficient, effective to actually support everything. So the only real true knowledge is the knowledge of the universal truth. That knowledge is the indicators of what is here in terms of the preservation of what is best for all. That is the nature of the system. And any form of pain, discomfort, disease is the opportunity of change. It should be embraced because that is the moment where the friction is at its highest, where the resistance, the barrier of the ego is there. If you, for instance, as an example, would go and have sex, and you need a particular imaginary point or a way to stimulate you to go to orgasm, and that particular stimulus is used while you are busy stimulating yourself to go to orgasm. The moment you go to orgasm, you go into full acceptance physically of that particular point, and it is all ego because you did not reach orgasm as a physical expression. You did it through an knowledge indicator, which is in your mind as a form of imagination. If you go to orgasm and it happens as a form of pain, which is what it should, because orgasm is an expansion of yourself, then you have the opportunity to take out that limitation, identify what it is, and the pain of the orgasm is the indicator that you are now expanding and you are now directing yourself as life. And once you have taken the point of limitation out during the process of orgasm, which is the purpose of sex, you will feel completely clear. You will move and breathe the systems out. You'll look at how they function. You will realize yourself. You'll see how you have limited yourself through using imagination to bring about happiness and pleasure. And the release of the system will then be the experience of the orgasm afterwards. That is the real purpose of sex within process. So, anyone that defend a point of view that is not universally true for everything that is alive on earth right now is in ego. It is really simplistic to see and understand. Therefore, if you are able to see what we share, which is very difficult for ego to see, understand the process as it will progress, will progressively make use of disease, pain, discomfort, any form of friction to reveal the level of ego that exists. If those points arise, make use of them to get to understand what it means to live universally equal here as life, as a neighbor that as one that love your neighbor, the true Jesus message. Be grateful when you get to a point of friction, when you get to a point of discomfort and disease, because it offers you the opportunity to remove the limitation of your self-knowledge and your self-definition, where you are defending your dastardly way of separation to harm others around you while you don't even see how you do it. And it gives you the opportunity to become universally aware and bring this awareness into physical living being to bring about a world that is heaven on earth. To use just the knowledge in the Bible about heaven on earth is just ego. Anyone that defends that is just an ego and separation, and in fact is limited, and in fact is already dead, because you cannot access life as long as you are against life, and self-ego, self-truth is against life. It disregards life, and therefore by your very disregard of life, you judge yourself. That is Judgment Day, every day where you live in limitation. Join us at Destiny and at Equal Money to bring about that which is the real truth, the universal answer.